Hey everyone, this is Buffy. In this video we're going to talk about the rating ships I have presented in the way to ISK and compare those to each other and see what rating ship is earning the most money, most ISK per tick, and you know which one will you actually choose from the other. So here's a graph here, is ISK per tick. We will compare the Gila, the Vexor Navy, Ishtar, Rattlesnake, and a carrier. So let's start. As you can see here, this is actually the Ishtar graph. This is 6 ticks. It is 2 hours of running. I have of course made a lot of more sites and used this to make kind of an average per tick. I have done 2 sites on this six ticks here, or 2.5 on some ships, and a lot more on other ships. But I'm kind of compared that to the average ticks, and kind of compared it to cut it down to 6 ticks. So this is the graph here, and as you can see here, the average is around 15 million for an Ishtar. And I know that some of you are using the Gila nowadays. It gives kind of kind of the same amount of DPS as the Ishtar, and it has, of course, I know, but I mean it does. It has more EHP and more tank, almost like the triple amount of if comparison to the Ishtar. But then again, I don't actually know why it doesn't work. But the Gila doesn't apply that much DPS with the medium drones as the Ishtar does with the heavy drones. The Gila is kind of awesome if you are kind of in a contested area, not safe in your own pocket with your own alliance, and you have intel channels and everything. Then the Ishtar, in comparison to the Gila, is way better. But the Gila, with kind of a expandable probe launcher, you can do some combat sites. You can kind of engage people, gankers and enemies in the Ishtar, and if tacklers actually manage to tackle you in a site, you will probably kill them before anything else land on the site. So I know it's kind of a good ship. It's kind of safe, but it doesn't generate that much ISK. I mean, the average ISK here per tick is kind of a like 7, 8. So I mean, it's not that much comparison to the Ishtar. I mean, kind of the same curves here with the Vexor Navy issue. It does the same amount of DPS as the Ishtar, but it doesn't have the tracking speed, so it receives just under the amount that the Ishtar does. So I like the Vexor Navy issue. It's so cheap, and kind of does the same ISK power. Before we actually go to the Rattlesnake and the carrier here, those 3 ships are actually AFK ships, rating ships, or you doesn't need to interact and target ships and actually engage and press the F1 button and everything. Those are actually completely AFK. You kind of warp in, you orbit, you drop your drones, and it finishes sites in 20-30 minutes, and you're done. The Rattlesnake and Carrier are active rating ships, so if you have more than 1 or 2 accounts, those ships here are kind of the way to go. I mean, as you know, I mean, I'm running with 9 accounts sometimes, and I mean, if I would have like, I don't know, 9 in the Rattlesnake, it would be a horrible mess. And even with 1 Rattlesnake that I kind of a main focus on, and the rest is kind of AFK Ishtars, still, if a ganker comes in, I will go completely insane. I mean, I will have to do so much drones in on everything and align out, and I will warp everything out, and some of those are not in the same system, and it's kind of it will be a crazy mess. So, but if you have like 1 or 2 accounts, the Rattlesnake and the carrier is kind of a valuable option here. So, and as you can see here, the Rattlesnake, it earns a lot of more ISK per tick than the Ishtar. It's almost 24 million per tick. It doesn't follow the same curve, or almost. It applies around 1100 to 1200 DPS with the heavy missiles and heavy drones. And as many of you probably watching this is riding in a carrier, yes, the carrier does a lot more ISK per tick than everything else. It does around 34 million per tick, and it's kind of that's an awesome amount of ISK per hour. So yeah, I know it's it's more expensive. It's so much more expensive than the other ships. The Rattlesnake is 450 million, and a carrier is estimated to 1.5, 1.6 billion ISK. So, but I mean, still, if you're kind of safe and you have the ISK to actually invest in a carrier, fucking go for it then. Don't mind me. I don't. But yeah, so we're just gonna check something about the time to earn back the investment. The Vector Navy, as you know, is kind of 145 million ISK. So I mean, you kind of earn that kind of fast. And this is the Ishtar. The Ishtar needs around 6 hours ish 6 hours to actually earn back the ISK it costs to buy it in the first place. So 6 hours is a fair amount of time. And as I said, the Vector Navy 145 million does it in almost 4. So that's a good time. And the Rattlesnake here, it does it done in, I don't know, 7 hours or something. So that's actually quite good as well, compared to it costs around 300 million more than the Ishtar. So I mean, that's actually very good. Yeah. And the Gila needs 11 hours. Yeah, enough said. I mean, yeah, the Gila takes 11 hours to actually earn back the 320 million it costs. And I know, that is horrible. But the carrier, I mean, the carrier costs, like I said, 1.5 billion ISK, 1.6 billion, depending on what fit you have. And it takes around 16 hours or 15, 16 hours before you actually earn back that amount of ISK. But then again, as we watch the ISK per tick, once you have done this, it generates so much more ISK than all other ships. So it's probably a good investment if you actually are kind of safe in a pocket and you have allies and inter-channel and everything. So here's a graph. It's hours to PLEX. How many hours do you need to rat, like per month, or do you need to rat total, just to earn that amount of ISK to buy a PLEX and activate your account or keep it active? And the Gila, we're not going to talk about the Gila. The Gila is kind of off the chart here. It takes 35 hours or something. 35 hours is quite a long time to actually rat to earn a PLEX. So we will just skip this one. And kind of Vector Navy issue here, it needs kind of 27 hours to receive that bounty for a PLEX. And I just need to cut in here that I'm not calculating the escalations you receive from those sites. The Ishtar, the Rattlesnake, and the Carrier are kind of extant in doing the escalation sites, and it's kind of a game of chance if you get the site or not. I think it's like 1 in 10 or 1 in 9 site you do, or 1 in 20. It's so dependable on the military index, in what systems, in what region, what faction is it, what kind of site are you doing. But I think it is once 11 times in a Forsaken hub, and with an Ishtar and with an Ishtar you do it in 1 hour 20 minutes, and you have the possibility to earn like 700 million. So that would be more than half of a PLEX. So if you're lucky, you can of course earn this a lot faster, but this is kind of the minimum, the bounty you receive from killing the NPCs. And it kind of continues. And here you can see the Ishtar. It needs it needs 23 hours or something to actually turn back to earn a PLEX. And I mean, it kind of continues, so you receive kind of a 1.5 PLEX if you're at like 30 hours or 35 hours. So that's kind of awesome. The Rattlesnake, it only needs 15 hours. That is actually kind of awesome. And it continues. It's actually receive enough ISK to buy 2 PLEX each month if you actually read only 30 hours. 30 hours is 1 hour per day. So, I mean, that's kind of a fair amount of reading. And of course, yes, the carrier, it will earn a PLEX in 11 hours. That is kind of awesome. That means you actually, yeah, you need like, I don't know, 10 to 11 days before you actually receive a PLEX. And you have like 20 days more to actually earn the second PLEX. And almost a third. So, yep, that is a fair amount of ISK you earn per month. So here's a forecast if you actually read less than 30 hours, like 20 hours per month. And this is over 16 hours, so that is 3 months. And this includes the cost of the ship. As you can see here, I mean, it's gonna start down here, depending on what ship it is, and it kind of will go down when the PLEX is received. So this is the Gila graph. I mean, the Gila starts here. It costs 300 million. It goes up. You earn ISK, and you need to buy the PLEX, and you go down to minus 800 million or so, and you continue to go up, and the ISK cost. So you actually go, you actually lose money. So, no, that's not good. However, I mean, the Vector Navy issue is actually going down as well. 20 hours per month isn't that much. Isn't that much, and sadly the Ishtar doesn't make it either. So, but the Red Snake, it actually after the first PLEX you go minus after the first month here, but you actually go positive ISK in your wallet. I mean, you actually earn, sure, it's like, I don't know, 300 million. So in the end of those 3 months, you actually earn 600 million. That's not that much, but I mean, but okay, you need to compare it to something, right? So the carrier, you actually go minus. It's kind of it costs a lot of ISK to invest in, and so I mean, but it goes quite much up after 3 months. Okay, so here we have a forecast. It's actually supposed to say 2 hours per day for 2 months. This includes 2 plexes and 2 ships. One is the initial cost for the ship that you're riding in, and next here you see the plex. So with the carrier here, you're at kind of almost 5 billion ISK if you ride 2 hours per day for like a month, and then you buy the plex, so you go down to like 3.8 billion. And with kind of the Gila, you went from 300 minus kind of up to 1.2, and you're just over one, like have like 200 million or so. And here you continue running. And the next thing here, I included a ship loss. I know that your carrier people kind of will disagree with me saying that you lose like one rudder ship like every month or every 2 months, since the carrier has that much tank and effective health points. But then again, I kind of need to calculate something and kind of compare it to something. So every 2 months you kind of lose a riding ship, and this is how it looks. The carriers cost around 1.6 billion or so. So I mean, that loss here is kind of high. But as you see here, I mean, the Vector Navy issue, it kind of cost nothing compared to the carrier, so it have a low drop here. But even if you actually lose a carrier, you're still over the rattlesnakes. ISK earned before the loss. So due to the high tick of the carrier, you kind of earn that much ISK. You actually can lose a carrier every second month. So, and you continue running, and then you buy the second plex. And sure, I mean, the rattlesnake is actually kind of not that not that far behind actually. So, but the carrier here, I mean, we stop at like almost 7 billion after 2 months, even with a ship loss and the cost of 2 plexes. And if you see the Gila here, the Gila has almost, I don't know, 800 million or so, and the rattlesnake, the Ishtar here has like 3 billion. So I mean, to use this AFK, AFK ratting ships like the Vector Navy or the Ishtar, you receive 3 billion, and I mean, you plex the accounts and you still receive like 3 billion, or just over 2 million for the Vector Navy. But if you want to rat actively, you sure earn more ISK with active ratted ship. If you like only rat with one character, or you could probably pull off two. So I mean, sure, a carrier and rattlesnake is the way to go if you actually have like one or two carriers. So one or two characters. But I mean, the Ishtar and the Vector Navy issue, it kind of works if you're actually you wanna watch a movie, or you wanna do something else while you rat. You kind of just go to a site, be kind of AFK for 20-25 minutes, and then you just interact in 3-4 minutes, and you kind of earn 3 billion if you rat 2 hours per day in 2 months, and still plex the accounts with that ISK. Yeah, this is actually the last chart here. Thank you guys for watching. Don't be a stranger, I was supposed to say, but no, but don't forget to subscribe. I know that like 99% of all my viewers are actually on this playlist here, and have a bunch load of other playlists with guides and PvP videos and everything. So don't forget to subscribe and watch my other videos. And yeah, and that will be probably the last video in this series on the way to ISK. Yeah, well, thank you.